Canadian politician Michael Ignatieff once said, "Genocide is not a murderous madness. It is more deeply a politics that promises a utopia beyond politics, one people, one land, one truth, the end of difference." Since genocide is a form of political utopia, it remains an enduring temptation in any multi-ethnic and multicultural society in crisis. What comes to mind is the extraordinary crisis in Burma, as akin to the political utopia by way of tyranny and gross maltreatment of the Rohingya people. The Rohingya crisis involves more than 700,000 people fleeing destruction and persecution from their homes in Rakhine province of Myanmar, formerly known as Burma. The crisis has drawn international attention in recent years. However, as with most atrocities, a prompt and effective solution seems elusive. Since Raphael Lemkin first coined the term genocide in the 1940s, the Rohingya Crisis underscores a striking similarity to the definition of genocide. Genocide refers to the deliberate killing of large groups of people, especially those of a particular nation or ethnic group. This acts as evidence in an indiscriminate killing and violence targeted towards the Rohingya population. This act is made evident with the reports of indiscriminate killing and violence targeted towards the Rohingya population. The Rohingya crisis has its roots from a number of factors. First, the government and political leaders of Myanmar claim that the Rohingyas are illegal immigrants. Consequently, the Rohingya population has been subjected to systematic marginalization, persecution, and their human rights largely abused. Another factor has significantly contributed to the Rohingya crisis, which is the lack of legal framework in Myanmar to protect the rights of the minority. The Rohingya crisis did not begin with the recent crisis experienced in 2016 and 17, but rather traces back to the colonial period. Decades of state-sanctioned discrimination against the Rohingyas, who are Muslim minority in predominantly Buddhist country, led to the rising against the government. That rebellion had consequences, and those consequences were rampant violence, rape, destruction of property, and indiscriminate killing directed towards the Rohingyas. The persecution and destruction of the Rohingya population made it to international headlines after the 1988 pro-democracy revolution in Burma. Global activists and minority groups claim that the security forces were responsible for a variety of crimes against the Myanmar people. Another occurrence of the injustices occurred in 2007 during the Saffron Revolution, whereby the security forces allegedly committed wide array of crimes and rural district during the counterinsurgency measures. The concern about the atrocities carried out by the security forces grew in 2016 and 17 after they were deployed against the Rohingya minorities living in the Rakhine state. The Rohingya crisis is a case of atrocities perpetrated by the government against its own population. The Rohingya population comprised of approximately 1 million people before the 2017 crisis living in Myanmar. However, the crisis saw over 2/3 of the population, which calculates to 725,000 people, flee for safety from their homes to the neighboring country of Bangladesh. A fact-finding mission from the United Nations on the crisis identified that government authorities labeled military attacks against the Rohingya conflict terrorists and the operation, despite all it being a human rights atrocity and violation. The catastrophe reflected in statistics which indicated that more than 10,000 Rohingyas have died from the crisis. The Rohingya fact-finding mission concluded that the government's actions constituted war crimes and crimes against humanity. However, the international community has been largely silent as the crisis was ongoing.